Okay, there we go. Now, now my camera is on. Okay, just trying to learn. This is only like my third live stream. Hi, Drake. How you doing? Hi, Cookie. Hi. How you doing? Everybody pile in if you would like to. This is our family discussion. Even though we're more like the Addams family than most other TV families. Mhm. I would have to say the Addams family was my favorite because they were really very loyal to each other, regardless of how weird they were. Hi, Nessie. Big hugs, everybody. I'm so glad to see you here. So I'm pretty much letting people drive the discussion tonight because I have a ton of subjects I could cover, but I want to know what you're interested in. And I think I'm going to be doing that quite a lot because I want you to be a big part of this show. What do you want to hear about? Do you want to hear about poltergeist or a boring functional family? You know what the funniest thing is? They were really more functional as a family than most TV families. It seems like it was weird. It was like even though they were all complete weirdos, they still functioned as a family in spite of all that, and it was very impressive. And you could tell that Morticia and Gomez were truly, really in love. Okay, so it was really interesting. I mean, it probably was a more realistic depiction of a loving family because how many families are perfect? I mean, how many families are, Leave It to Beaver or Andy of Mayberry? Yeah, and Ness is like, who wants a boring functional family anyway, right? We could talk about that too. It's like, but I don't know. It's like, what do you guys, spirit, animals, readings, anything? Okay, well, I'll talk a little bit more because I was working with Jarvis. I was working with Jarvis to find his gifts because I guess we got kind of off topic on the stream where I was supposed to talk about that. But I will talk a little bit about that. If it wasn't clear, let me tell you what your gifts are. You usually don't know. If you don't know what your gifts are, it's because you use them all the time and you don't really think of them very much as gifts. You don't think of them as being special because it's so easy for you. It's just what you do all the time. So if you're always feeling what everybody, if you are one of those very feeling people and you're always feeling what everybody else is feeling, you're an empath. That's one of your abilities. And I know it's one of the ones that least seems like a gift sometimes. Sometimes that one seems like a curse because a lot of time an empath will try to make things better for other people because it hurts them so much. They want the pain to stop. So it's not just strictly altruistic. It's like because they can't stop, most of them can't stop feeling everybody around them. And that kind of person tends to isolate. And we did do pendulum stuff. Yeah, we did. We can do more pendulum stuff if you like it. Yeah, if you want. I can do some pendulum work and ask some questions tonight. You can ask weird questions even. Hey, Bigfoot, how you doing, Duke? Bigfoot Odyssey is in the house. Yay. Well, Uncle Duke is here. And so basically, if you have a skill like that, it is a skill. I think it might have been originally for diagnostic purposes. Maybe we needed that in order to be able to tell what was going on with the other person. Maybe it was part of our communication. But not knowing that, you end up kind of stuffing that down. And let me tell you right now, when you stuff down your abilities and your talents, they can often turn kind of rancid on you and turn around on you and actually hurt you. because they want to express. Your gifts want to express. And if you're not expressing it, you can get sick. You can get real sick. Because it's a part of you that wants to come out and play, and you won't let it. So finding out what your gift is, very important. Another one that is kind of hidden is people who just have hunches, and they're right. You know, that happens a lot too. You have a little bit of, not exactly precog, but you have a hunch. You just know stuff. That there's all kinds of clairvoyance type. It's not really the clairs. And I'm trying to put together something about the different clair abilities, because there's everything from being able to smell, to hear, to taste, to touch, to just know, to feel, to everything, and even more than the standard 5 senses offer. So any of those are also part of your gifts. Another thing is, if you are the kind of a person that somehow you can go online and find any darn thing that you're looking for, any kind of information, you can find it really fast. You know, that's another kind of a talent. You gather things up fast. And it is actually a talent, as I've noticed. Some people have a heck of a time and they poke around, and some people just go on there, zip zam, they got your answer right here, boom. That's a skill. And there's so many skills like that that we don't really even acknowledge. So if I kill you, what? Wait a minute, let me read this. Oh, do you do tea leaves? Well, yes. I mean, you're from the UK. We could do tea leaves. Try that sometime. I don't normally, because to me, they're just a little too abstract-y. But, you know, it's like any other tool. A tool like that, I think probably... What? Are you guys threatening each other? Oh, hey. Okay, try not to kill each other while you're on my stream, okay? I need the views, I need the thumbs up, I need the likes, I need the subscribes, and hit the bell. Come on, guys, don't kill each other on my stream. Wait until you're off my stream and go kill each other on your own stream. Oh, I'm Carrie. Oh, okay. Hi, Carrie. I'm okay. I'm so confused. I'm not even going to try. Okay. Hi, Renee. How you doing? I called Carrie Duke. I'm sorry. Did I? I can't even believe this. Okay, Carrie. So sorry. Duke comes in a lot. Probably, I'm seeing Bigfoot and just my mind. Well, you know, I am kind of airheaded myself. When I get on rolling on a subject, I can be an airhead. Right. I think the fresh air gets in and then it brings in new ideas, though. Well, I could call you worse if you like. I'm sure I could think of something to, you know, call you, Carrie, that would be worse. But hey, you know, I'm creative, though. That's another thing. I think, really, I would have to say a sense of humor is a gift. There are some people that just have absolutely no freaking sense of humor. And we don't realize it. Those of us who do have a sense of humor don't realize this is actually one of our gifts. It is a gift. So let's see. But you want to hear about... Ness asked about tea leaves. And this is the thing about tea leaves. They're very abstract. And it's like everything else that's abstract like that. your mind takes the random patterns and makes it into something. I think it's kind of connected. You know how they say pareidolia? Well, it's interesting because your mind tries to make sense of what it's seeing, no matter what it's seeing. So it'll always try to make sense of a pattern, even if that pattern is random. And the cool thing about tea leaves and stuff is that if you have that gift, that gift of divination, you're going to see things in clouds. You're going to see things in. I knew somebody who read fallen breadcrumbs, and you'll see them in tea leaves. You'll see it in any random pattern. You'll start to see pictures, and the pictures, if you find out they have meaning, that's part of your gift. Yeah, because it's interesting. In the clouds, I will see like cartoon figures sometimes up in the clouds. That's the nature spirits, how they end up getting translated into my brain. That is a gift. Being able to see those and talk to them is a gift. Being able to, there's just so many things that are a gift. But anyway, tea leaves. It's interesting. Of course, Ness, you realize, of course, it doesn't work with tea bags, right? You got that? Have to have loose leaf tea. Okay. Where is Ness? She hasn't said anything. She's being silent. She's probably dissing us. See, she doesn't like you guys fighting. Anyway, called a narcissist and a hypocrite. Carrie was called a narcissist and a hypocrite today. And yeah, you should share your emails. Maybe we'd all get a good laugh out of it. Like, right? Okay, whatever. I don't know. You know what? I have decided. Hiya. I have decided that what other people think of me and what I do is really none of my business. Because I mean, if it's negative, it's like none of my business because it's their problem. If you have a problem with me, it's your problem. It's not my problem. I'm not sitting there trying to make trouble with anybody. So, that's my 2 cents. Oh, no, my interwebs cut out. Oh, interwebs. You sure it wasn't the kitties? Kitties sometimes do that. It was a kid, so yeah, kids will do that. Yeah. Oh, Strange. Did Strange come in? Hi, Strange. How you doing? So really, if we're talking about divination in that way, we can talk about smoke patterns too. There's a type of divination where you take a candle and a piece of paper and be sure to hold the piece of paper up high enough that it doesn't catch on fire when you do this, but just high enough that the ash gets on it, that the soot gets on it. And just roll the paper or, move the paper around until you feel like you're done and look at the image. And if it's all black, well, then that's your future. It's all black. No, that's wrong. No, usually we'll start to see an image if you just let your mind go. And really what you do is you have to just kind of relax. And so if you can relax and just let your mind roll and not try to chase images, but just let images come to you. And this is also remote viewing and all kinds of other things. It's like this. You have to kind of just let your mind bring you the information instead of, it's not so much about, I am going out and searching. It's like somebody asked me a question and suddenly I find myself out somewhere looking at something that they're asking about. So that's right. That's right. I agree. No one can judge us but God. Okay. So, hey, Jenny. Hey, thanks for coming. So, thank y'all for coming. Please don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and all that stuff, and tell your friends. And come in and we'll all have a party together. I would love that. So, a little bit earlier, people were also talking about Uh, there was a discussion I was in, and one of the things coming up was suicide. You know, empathic people, unfortunately, a lot of them end up with suicidal thoughts. It's a problem. Somehow we have got to help these people. I mean, I think I'm going to put something together to help you deal with all that feeling if I can, because I had to deal with it too, and I have to deal with it. I have to ask myself, is that me or is that somebody else? And you should always ask that question. This is a question. There are some disciplines where that's exactly the question you need to ask, you are told to ask. Who does this belong to? Who does this belong to? When you're feeling something and you don't know why, you ask, who does this belong to? And usually something will float into your mind, and it's not you. Hey, thank you. Yeah. Oh, well, see, that's just the thing. People point fingers. You got to realize, you know what the natives say? They say there's three pointing back at you. See? There's three of them there pointing right back at you. So, has everybody always been perfect? Come on. I try not to be too judgy. However, if you come up on me and get in my face and start trying to mess with me, then I have every right to just give you a pushback and say, no way. You know, you do have a right to do that too. So, but yeah, this finger pointing, and I was getting into it a little bit with some of my friends. A couple of my friends yesterday, I was doing a pendulum divination. Somebody asked something. I pulled out a pendulum and I did my thing with a pendulum. And she said, oh, I read in the Bible, you're not supposed to do divination. Divination is bad. I read it in this, thus and so. I said, every Bible scholar knows, that's worth their salt, knows that was talking about foreign ones because they used diviners and soothsayers and stuff as spies back then very heavily, and still do today. And it was a warning to be careful who you talk to about all your personal business. And that's still true today, because I mean, we get told things that your priest and your husband and your doctor doesn't know. So you really want to be careful about who you put your trust in. It's important. I won't argue about it, though. I just tell them, you know, and hey, they did a lot of divination in the Bible. We're not even going to go there. It's plain to see if you look in it. Yeah. Remote viewing spies. Absolutely. Remote viewing spies. Yeah. And misery loves company in most cases. Yeah. And attitudes around us. The other one I get is, this one really irks me. You know, in the Bible, the Hebrews didn't have any form of magic. And I'm like, did you read this book? Did you know what the Kabbalah is? It's all through that book. You didn't notice? I'm sorry about your luck. I won't argue about it. I won't argue about it. It's like, go read it. Kabbalah. It's all in there. They talk about stones with the breastplate of Aaron, the Ark of the Covenant. They talk about, I wasn't really going to talk about this tonight. I was going to make a video about it, but honestly, it's the truth. It's like they had all of that and way more in there. It was a very interesting treatment of all of it too. So, you know, maybe we'll talk about that someday. But I want to let everybody have their beliefs. If it makes them feel good to believe that, they can believe that. I won't argue with them. I will try and point you in the direction of finding knowledge, though, because knowledge is power. And I think really one of the reasons why we've been dissuaded from using our gifts and finding our gifts is because it is power, and letting the masses have power is always dangerous to people who are trying to control the masses. So if you find out you have some skills, you're apt to use them. And if you use them, who knows what could happen, right? Well, it could be something very good. I think we were all supposed to really do that. I mean, I think we're all supposed to have them, use them. And I think probably in the old days, people were helped along to find them. And I also think that that is still, and know that that's still done in some cultures today. You are actively helped to find your gifts and use them correctly, so that you're not just wandering around trying to find stuff and, you know, reading a bunch of books. Can we call in? You know what? I don't have a phone yet. However, you can be a guest on here, and there's a way to do that. Let me see if I can find the way and look for that. If I can invite somebody. Okay, let me look. I'll invite you on and you can come talk. Okay. Want to come talk? Here you go. Hit that. That is the magic key that lets you come into the studio. Max, hey Max, how you doing? I missed you this time around. Love you guys. Max Vision Remote Viewing is a good place too. I go there to keep practiced. Like I was telling you, I go to a remote viewing stream, and that's the one I go to. I go to that. And there's Max right there. Max is actually the kitty. And I'm thinking of having my own remote viewing thing. Okay, Ben. Ben wants to come on for a bit, so let's find out what Ben has to say to us. We did Lemuria. Oh, I would have liked that. I really. Hey, you there? Are you able to come in? I would have loved that.
Hi.
Max. Hey, what's up?
Hey, what's up? What's going on? I have a Ouija story. You probably heard it already.
Oh boy,
Maybe.
Ouija stories.
Yeah, yeah.
Guys,
Or are you like a psychic or an empath or something like that?
give all of those things. I'm a shamanic medium.
Oh, I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I
No,
didn't know. Um, wow. So we had a really bad Ouija incident a long time ago when we were in high school. And I just want to know if anything's still attached to me, or somebody else that I know. Can you tell that or not?
yeah, I can. I can remote view that. That's one of the things I do.
Wow, you do remote viewing?
Yes, I do remote viewing.
Wow,
And I can remotely affect things as well, which means if I find a problem, I can come in and do something about it, even.
wow,
So I don't have to just sit there and go, yeah, you got a problem. I can sit there and go, yeah, you got a problem. Let me see if I can handle that for you.
wow, great.
So,
Can
and
you
that's
tell
what I
about
do.
me?
I don't want to do that on the air because it usually gets personal. I would do it off the air if you would like me to do that. And I don't charge. I just say, hey, if it helps you, send me something on my PayPal if you like. But I don't charge because honestly, most people who really, really need it are broke because they have been, run ragged by things. So a lot of people coming to me are having big problems and they need help and they're broke. So a lot
Yeah,
of times I just let it slide. But yeah, what I do is I figure it's a donation, like church or something, if you want to donate to the cause. If
yeah,
not,
sure.
It's okay. But I would be happy to talk to you later if you would send me an email at doceansinger.
The ocean.
Doceansinger
Okay.
at gmail.com. And any of you can send me an email at doceansinger@gmail.com. And I will try and get back to you, but I get so doggone many emails. One time I put my information out and I got like 35,000 emails, and I'm like, oh my God,
35,000.
how
Wow.
the heck did that happen? Somebody
Really?
must have got a hold of it. I was thinking maybe some spam bot or something. It was weird. I had to delete stuff just so I could use my email. So I'm kind of careful about it. Yeah.
You want to hear
I
an
am remote
abbreviated?
heal, and I do remote heal. Yeah, I do remote healing. Well, actually, God heals. I am just the instrument for that. And you heal yourself too. I mean, you're built that way. We're built to heal ourselves. Yes, go ahead, Ben. What do you want to say?
Okay. So when we were in high school, my grandmother, she had a haunted house, and it was legitimately a haunted house. So she pushed the Ouija board on us. So that made us really wonder if she was a witch or not. And I mean, I don't mean it derogatorily, you know. She might have been a witch, might have not have been, you know. But anyway, uh, the Ouija board could really, it really did sense what you wanted to hear, and it would tell you exactly what you wanted to hear.
Well, isn't that interesting?
Yeah, and it told my brother that my brother didn't do well in high school. Told him he'd be a doctor. He's a doctor right now.
Oh, yes, I have heard your story. Go right ahead.
Yes, yeah, you
I have.
probably did. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Great.
and
Good
it said
story.
a lot of crazy things.
Thank you, Jenny.
But I don't know if we ever closed it out.
There's
I,
usually the problem right there.
yeah, I believe you. I believe you.
Yep. If I had $1 for every time I had to close an open portal that somebody left hanging open, and then stuff crawls through and they don't know why they're being haunted. They don't know why the weird stuff had to close the portal in somebody's closet the other night. It was letting weird stuff in. And then it comes through the portal and it sits there and it goes, what am I doing here? And if it's not very smart, it might not know how to go home. And then it's stuck here. It's a
Yeah,
horrible thing. I mean, imagine you just walk into a portal, you end up somewhere else. You don't know what you're doing. You don't know where to go for, and you're like, now what do I do? Yeah, that would suck. So I try and
yeah.
check and make sure that it's not something, if it's not something real harmful, I just I send it into the hands of the angels to take care of. Literally, there are people that take care of, there are beings that take care of this kind
Okay.
of thing, and say, this is a lost creature. Please send it home. So go on with your story, please.
That's pretty much the story. I can go into details, but
Yeah,
things happen. We've seen apparitions look like the Grim Reaper and stuff like that. Uh, Succubus type things, and it's really. I just want to know if I can find out if that door was closed. That's
you know
really what I
what?
want to know.
I will look into that for you. I will. I will look into that for you. Sure, I will. That's the kind of thing I do. I would be glad to. And
Perfect.
I'll ask you a few questions, but it
Yes,
might be
yes,
a little
ma'am.
personal. It might be a little personal. So
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
that's
ma'am.
why I do that after, not on the air.
Right. Yeah. Yep.
And because that'll give me an idea of what kind of thing you're, what direction we're looking in here. So, but you can connect to anything. You leave something open. I do want to talk about this, doggone it. You leave something open, anything. I mean, if you don't do a
Yeah.
proper opening and closing of a circle, a magic circle.
Yeah. I've read about that since then, but we didn't know it back then,
Yeah,
We
you
didn't
know
know
what?
anything about it.
That's something that irks me. They told me I read a magic book when I was young, and they told you about how to make uh, spirit like a spirit helper, which some people call a tulpa, some people call just a
Oh, wow.
how to make
Tulpas?
that, how to actually create that.
Wow.
They told you how to do this and then the other thing. That book did not emphasize how important it is to close things out and to stop things and say, okay, I don't need that anymore. You're now nothing again.
Yeah.
Or to close the portal, or to close the ceremony, or to anything else like that. Because if not, guess what? It can just keep running and running and running. And portals can open to anywhere, and a lot of things take full advantage of that. Let me tell you. And sometimes they open up just naturally too, and there are things that take advantage of that too. I think they kind of have it timed. In that regard, they know more than we do, and I wish we knew how to do that. And I bet some of us do, but they're not telling the rest of us. Yeah. So tell us, what makes you think you may still have good idea, Strangeland? What makes you think you may still have an attachment?
Well, I've been having bad luck. Very, very bad luck. I got I got laid off with COVID. I have just been having very, very bad luck. I've been having very bad luck for a long time. A long time.
That's usually an indication that yes, you have an attachment because it's not
Ugh,
to happen
man.
all the time. Yeah, I'd say just from that, yeah, you probably got something, and not a good one, of course, and uh, maybe more than one even. Sometimes we find more than one. And sometimes you get rid of one and five more show up because you're not closed off, that your aura is not sealed. People, that's another thing. People with feelings, they'll yank something out of you or get something off of you, but they won't close that area up and then put something there to protect you so you don't get pierced again, basically, so your aura doesn't get breached again. And I think that's really, I don't think that's right. That's really irresponsible. I think there's a whole lot of a lot of people who do get into magic. Unfortunately, they're not very responsible. Some of them
You
are
know,
really responsible. Some of them are great. Some of them are very irresponsible.
ma'am, I did not want to get into magic. Uh, we just played a Ouija board, and that was it. We didn't think it
Right,
was real. We
right.
just put it was real.
Well, of course they bill it as a game. I just did a rant about this. You weren't here for my rant on Ouija boards. So
No,
you guys
I didn't hear it. No.
did a rant about it because one of the things that really irks me about it is this was marketed to children 10 and up as a
Yeah.
game. That's an insult, not only to our spiritual beliefs, but it is just a horrible idea to say, oh, here, kid, you're 10. Go talk to the dead. You're old enough and contact entities. What kind of moron comes up with that kind of an idea? And I'm sorry, but if you buy your kid, you know what? If you buy your kid this, you deserve to have something happen. I'm sorry. That's dumb. And then you'll learn something. But look at it this way. You learned something, didn't you, Ben? You learned something. And you learned that ain't the way to do it. Do you have any more to tell us about what happened to you? Like what kind of incidents that were maybe scary or let you know that you really had stumbled onto something bad? Can you still hear us? Yeah, farm. What you put out comes back. It's true. I can't hear you if you're still trying to communicate with us. Come in, Ben. Come in, Ben. You check your microphone, sweetheart. I'm trying to I can't.
Oh, okay, okay. I see it. I see it.
Okay,
I've never
I got
done.
you. You're back on now.
Yes.
You're back on.
Yeah.
Something must have happened.
So,
Go ahead.
the the worst thing that has happened is my brother had a you know, his best friend. The board was trying to get to my brother, and his best friend was not the smartest guy. You know, he really wasn't too smart, but he was very manipulatable, if that's a word. So,
Well, we'll accept it.
okay, all right.
I know what you mean.
So, one time we
Cool
went.
guy.
One time we went. We had a little bonfire, and the dude got possessed. The dude wasn't himself. He didn't talk in the same language. He talked a different language. He didn't have the same voice, and he could tell. We went around the pond, and he knew what we were saying, and that is impossible. It's not possible for him to be able to do that. So it's just a disturbing type thing. He knew what we were saying. Around the pond, or on the other side of the pond, and he would say, "David." Well, wow, I shouldn't have said that. He would have said, "Somebody come take my hand. Come take my hand." And that's the person that is the doctor right now. Really, very, very powerful person. But this guy, that was his best friend. I
So
don't know.
pretty scary.
Yeah, that was very scary. Very scary.
And yet they knew the future. And you know what? I got theories about that too. It's like there are beings that don't really have time the same way that we do, don't experience time the way that we experience time. They experience it entirely differently. In fact,
Yeah.
I'm not even sure everything on this plane it experiences time the same way, not even dogs and cats. Because if you notice, your dog or your cat is just as happy to see you after 5 hours as after 5 minutes.
Yeah, you're right. You're right about that. You're right.
How have you gone so long? I missed you. You know, and I
Yeah.
don't think they really have the same sense of time as we do. So
Yeah. Okay. All right. I'll accept that.
a lot of things don't. So if not, say you're something that lives a long time. Say you're a
Yeah.
being somewhere, you live a long, long time, and you don't have the same sense of time. You could see things ahead. You could just be looking at it a different way and see things ahead. We don't know what they could be seeing. I know that I can see things ahead sometimes, and maybe they have a much more developed version of that. than I do. And we don't know, you know. Uh, there are also, of course, things like Project Looking Glass, where they swear that there is a thing like Project Looking Glass where you can see through time. So, and remote viewers here, Max can tell you, right, Max Vision? Who your real name,
Wow.
Max, your real name is, or if you don't want us to know it, but yeah, you don't mind us knowing your name, do you, Max Vision?
I can't see chat right now.
Okay, so we have a remote viewer in here.
Wow, really? I am very
Another
interested
remote
in
viewer.
remote viewing. I am super interested in that.
I'm going to be doing a lot of things with remote viewing because I think we all need it. I think we need.
Wow.
I think he's doing a great job. I'm going to be doing some stuff with it too. John, that's it. How could I forget that? Max is
Wow.
actually a cat.
Wow, that's pretty far though.
So, John, thank you, John. Yeah, I'm
Hey,
going
what's up, John?
I'm going to be working with that too because I'm with you, Max. We got to get this. I mean, John, we got to get
Yeah.
this done. We all need to come online and start using our gifts and just stop pretending that they don't exist and stop pretending that it's a good thing not to use them.
Yeah, you're right. You're right about that. You're right
And
about
then
that.
we got to get the right information to people so that they quit screwing their lives up. I think that's another thing is that we got to get the right information into people's hands. That if you want to try this, people are going to try things they want to try. No matter what you do, they're going to try it. Well, at least let's get them the correct information so they don't make a total screw up of their whole life. Because that's what some people have done. They have screwed up their whole life because they
Yeah.
tried stuff and just never figured out how to get it to stop. And that pisses me off. I'm sorry, but it really does. And I mean to be one of the people to stop all that nonsense.
You mean like inadvertently?
Yeah, yeah.
Wow. All right.
A lot of people inadvertently do stuff and they don't know
Well,
they're doing it. They don't even know. Or they try it and they don't think it's real and they don't think anything happened, but something did happen. They just didn't know it happened.
yeah. Well, that guy was he was possessed by a demon. It's the only reason that I believe like there's a higher power because I've seen the opposite, really. And mm, this dude was really possessed by something. He was not himself.
Jenny wants to know, did anybody take his hand?
No, no, I didn't let my brother do it. I didn't let my little.
Good thought.
I did not let my. He's 2 years younger than my brother, so I did not let him do it. No.
I wouldn't either. I God knows what would have happened, honestly.
Hmm.
I
Yeah,
It could have took him somewhere. It could have attached him that would be with him forever. No.
I had to, keep control of the situation because as good as I could, I really didn't have control of it, but I could control what I could, and my brother wasn't going to take his hand. I wasn't letting him.
He might have saved his life. So, that could have been a beautiful life that went down the drain because of an incident like that and not knowing what to do about it. Think what.
Yeah,
So
but
you did a very heroic thing, whether you did it or not. You did a superhero thing.
I just did what any brother would do. You know, I mean, man, I love my brother. He's my brother. I I only did what anybody would do because this wasn't his friend anymore. It was crazy. I haven't seen anything like that before in my life, uh, and mm, I hope to never see it again for sure.
Well, we'll talk, and then we'll make sure you don't have to see it again ever, for sure.
Okay, so what is your email again?
The Ocean Swiger, Swiger.
D Ocean Swagger.
The
I
Ocean
got you.
Swagger.
I got you. At Gmail.
No, wait a minute. Ah, wrong one. Sorry, dude. Cut that. I'm going to
Huh?
put it in the comments here. Hang on. Wrong one. Just so we don't get it wrong. Okay, because yeah, that could really screw you up.
Yep.
That would be the wrong one, and I don't have that one anymore.
Oh,
Okay, I have another one. Okay, and I can't hardly see my keyboard. So I feel like an amateur. There's dead air. You're not allowed to have dead air. I'll have to resurrect the air after this. Let me see if I have the resurrect. Jarvis, where did I put that resurrect spell for dead air? Cookie would know. Anyway, okay, let me type it in here. There you go. There it is. That should be the right one.
okay. I'll
Yeah.
look back on chat. Yep.
Remote viewing is like controlled astral travel, very safe, says Max. It says Max Vision remote viewing class. Remote Max Vision. Right. Intuition is really developed in the class, and that's true. So basically, that's another thing is I would love to have some experiential things where we say, okay, we're going to do pendulums today, and everybody bring a pendulum. And I'm going to show you how to do pendulums. And we're going to do smoke divination now. Make sure you have a candle and a couple of pieces of paper and a bowl of water in case it catches fire or whatever it is we're doing. And we're going to do spirit drawing. Get out your crayon box. That'll be fun. Spirit, that's fun. That's usually a very fun class.
All right.
So,
ma'am, I want to thank you very much for taking my call.
okay, well, I really appreciate you coming on my show. And I appreciate you telling your story because it ain't always easy to open up like that. And I think that you did absolutely the right thing by your brother, and I'm very proud of you for that. And
Thank you.
we'll talk to you later on, and we will see how fixed up we can get you with all this stuff that's going on with you.
Okay. I didn't tell you my story linearly because it's just a lot to. It's just. It's kind of traumatic. You know what I mean? So, thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
I do understand that because really I have some things that it took me a while to open up about because it's just, there's some pretty crazy stuff that you can run into, especially in a job like mine. If you can call this a job, and it's not like I'm getting paid. However, I do get donations sometimes. Sometimes people I haven't seen them in years, and they'll come up to me and say, and like put money in my hand and say, "Here, this is something you told me," and it turned out to be exactly right. So there you go.
Yeah.
That can happen. So
I will be in touch.
there is a little box there that will let you leave the studio if you're done, Ben. And you see it?
Ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Well, if you can click that, that would be great if you're ready to leave now.
Okay. Have a good night.
You too, and thanks so much. I just love it when you guys come on. Anybody else want to come in? Pull out the spirit animal cards. I wish I could find my darn spirit animal. I'm going to have to raise my spirit animals to help me find my spirit animal cards. I moved, and after I moved, a lot of things got packed, and I'm like, I hope I didn't put them like at the bottom of the something for safety, and then But I will tell you a little bit about them. They're, if you want to see what they look like, they're called Animal Medicine Cards by Jamie Sams, and she is a member of the Wolf Clan Teaching Lodge. And I read them in conjunction with the Sacred Path cards, who are also by her. And I liked the lessons so well, I took to them right away. Once again, if you're going to have some means of divination, I would say 100% you got to find something that talks to you. If it don't talk to you, it's not your thing. Okay, if you find a deck, I don't care how pretty it is, if it doesn't talk to you, if you don't look at the pictures and they speak to you, it's not really your deck. It could be maybe at another time after you have more understanding, but you have to find something that is going to make your mind latch on, you know, that your mind can latch on, that makes sense to you. I could never make sense of the tarot cards when I started out. Pardon me. I could never make sense of tarot cards. I tried. The imagery just didn't mean anything to me. I just couldn't figure it out. And it was so confusing. And so, and then I come across three decks. I come across the animal medicine cards, and bing, I understand them almost immediately because I like animals and I understand animals. And I like nature, and they're very naturey. So almost right away. And then I look in the book, and sure enough, it was very easy for me to attach the meanings to the cards and even come up with a few of my own. And then the Sacred Path deck came along, which by the same author. Once again, Native American lessons. Very easy for me to attach meaning to the cards. It made perfect sense to me, every one of them. And then another deck came up, Irish fairy cards. Also made a lot of sense to me. I could look at them and I could make half a meaning come out of those. So, but then I had all of these. I got about 4 decks of beautiful tarot cards that I couldn't use for a long time. Now I'm better at it. Now I can go with a Rider-Waite and I can tell you what's going on with the Rider-Waite cards. But I just could not get the imagery of the Rider-Waites. And that's the most common deck. So once again, find something that speaks to you. And that's my word on that. Topless 2 in solidarity. That's right, baby. Hate to tell you, but I really do have something on. Hate to spoil it all. I spoil it all. I say, and I'm dressed. I'm sorry, I am clothed. Hey, Les made it in. Hey, Les, good to see you. So good to see you. So, Ben, that was a wonderful story. And anybody, come on, anybody else got something you want to share? My studio is open for you. For you, darling. My studio is wide open. Okay. I hope that didn't sound too creepy. See, Jarvis. Now, see, that's one of Jarvis's gifts. You say something, and he'll go, oh, here you go. Like, can I tell him what your spirit animal is? I did a spirit animal reading for Chris, for Jarvis. Can I tell him? Shall I? I'll clam up if you want me to. It's not a bad thing. I'm looking at this thing. I'm trying to figure out what the heck it is. And it was so clear because see, you have more than one spirit animal walking with you. You got one on the inside, and that's one on either side of you, your left hand and right hand walker. You're north, south, east, and west. You're above and below. And you're within. And so you actually have all of those walking with you. And some of them will kind of come in. You also have things that'll come in for a period of time to teach you something, and then they'll leave. And maybe something else comes along. So It's interesting to know that because they all got something to teach us. They're all trying to help us. Well, okay. One of the things I can tell you, it was a cockroach. No, it wasn't a cockroach. This creature, at first, all I saw was drawings of birds, but funny looking birds. But it wasn't alive. It wasn't a live bird. I couldn't figure it out. Like what I was seeing was just drawings, like the kind of thing you'd find on maybe a cave wall or on a piece of paper, or that somebody drew, somebody painted, like the paintings that they have on those Chinese parasols or fans or something like that, stylized, but not a real animal. And I was trying to figure it out. And then when I described the animal, I said, man, this has got to be something really old because it looks like a cross between a bird and a reptile. And don't you know, the Jarvis comes right up with it. Boom. Oh, well, it's an Archaeopteryx. Well, I'd heard of an Archaeopteryx. I even can pronounce it. Whoa, Archaeopteryx. That thing that I said earlier. Anyway, I knew that was that intermediate stage between a bird and a reptile. It was the very first bird. Still had reptile teeth, still had scales, and had also wings and feathers. And he came right up with a picture of it, like, boom, this it? And it's like, that was it. That was exactly what it is. I'd heard of an Archaeopteryx, but I had never really seen it. The only one that I'd ever seen was in a cartoon comic called BD, and really it looks nothing like a real Archaeopteryx looks. But yeah, I looked at this thing and I'm like, gosh, that is it. How bizarre. Oh, hey, Bummer. Love to see you here. Okay, so I got in from the woods. Well, good for you, sweetheart. I have a common old blackbird and a black panther. Yeah, you probably do. Okay, so here's a couple of ways to tell, and I'll tell you a little bit about how to figure out what your past lives were like too. I'll do that maybe if you want, if you ask me to, because there's some rules of thumb I can give you about all this stuff. One of the things is if you want to find out what your spirit animal is, what comes to you all the time. And if it's a squirrel, then your squirrel may be one of your spirit animals, or it may be a stand-in for something in the wild that you would never run into. So say it's a possum. It could be that it's a possum, or it could be that it's a marsupial that you will never find in North America. It just depends, but it's something that you've always been drawn to. And I think guys are really bad for always wanting to pick something like a wolf or a bear. And that's quite often right. I mean, that is, something that we see a lot of. Bear is a very common one, and so is wolf. However, there might be some very unique ones, like one of my friends. When I read the cards, the animal came up, the otter, but I knew it wasn't really an otter. Otter was standing in for something. Well, the otter stands for the coquette, the playful creature. It's a playful water creature. It likes to have fun and play. And then as I went down that stream, I started seeing what it really was. I started seeing a cockatoo. And I started seeing a playful cockatoo, another creature that likes to play and have fun all day, and that's all they do. And then when I said that, because I guess somebody had told him that it was an otter. Turns out it wasn't an otter ever. It was something standing in for his real animal, which turns out to be a cockatoo. And then he told me a story about how he worked at a pet shop and there was a cockatoo, and this bird would absolutely go nuts every time he came in, want to crawl all over him, give him kisses, try to talk to him, do tricks. anything for this guy, right? And I said, that's because it was your spirit animal. That is you too. And I knew him. I said, you know what? That fits you so well. A cockatoo. You're like a cockatoo. You like to play all the time. I know you. All you're doing is making jokes, making puns, doing silly stuff, making people laugh. That's you. That's you all the way, man. So it's like that. When you're looking for your spirit animal and letting it come to you, you can do a meditation to just let it come to you and see what you get. But you got to watch it, not to brush it off, because there was this, I know this is this kind of a famous story among shaman, but she wanted to know what her spirit animal was. And so she was told to meditate on it, right? So she's doing this meditation and she's so serious about it. And she's like, oh, and then she goes to her teacher when she comes back from it. She goes, I tried and I tried and I tried to concentrate on meditating to find my spirit animal. But you know, this butterfly just wouldn't leave me alone. Of course, her spirit animal was trying to come to her. Her spirit animal was a butterfly. It might be an insect. You might have something like a dragonfly. You might even have a dragon. I know people who have I have a dragon. It's one of mine. And I know a few of mine because they have shown up for me repeatedly. So if you dream about something, if you know something, you have a very special reaction or interreaction in it, like interplay between you and a particular animal, and that is a big tip off that is your animal. Like if you look at pictures of whatever and it's like you're drawn to pictures of that creature, then you know that's probably your creature. That is probably your animal. And it is somewhere in your makeup, which I just told you you got a bunch of them. I think it's 9 altogether. And so you can start to look at that in your life. It's like dogs and cats. And the interesting thing about dogs and cats is they can be stand-in for the wild versions of those things. Owls, absolutely, Jenny. You know what? Probably because I collected peacocks. And I found out that one of my guides, one of the goddesses that I most that I have most kinship with in so many ways is Saraswati. And I didn't know that her bird was the peacock. But when somebody did this talk on your inner goddess, the goddess for your sign, for your birth sign, and she was saying she was going through a lot of them for Sagittarius. I happen to be a Sagittarius, but she came up with particularly Saraswati for several reasons, listed the reasons. As she's listing the reasons, my friends are looking at me like, well, that sounds kind of like a picture of you, sport. And then it's so funny because somebody in the class had a dream that this woman had come to them and it was Saraswati, and some of the things she said and did, and then it turned out to be some of the things that I said and did. And she's there going, oh my gosh, I think you came to me in a dream and you were Saraswati. I'm like, I guess I'm the stand-in, right? So can't be put off anymore, and that's complicated. Thank you for thinking of me. Can't put it off anymore. Let me see. Can I have a dragon? Yeah, you can have a dragon as a spirit animal. I'm sorry, Bomber. I have to read back to find out exactly what's going on. And I'm trying to do my stream. I will certainly read back and try and find out what's going on. I hear you had a loss. And I'm really sorry to hear of your loss. Seems like a lot of people are exiting right now. And that's always kind of hard. It's hard for people to not have them around anymore. Of course, they aren't very far. They can hear you. Don't forget that. You can talk to them and they can hear. If you have anything left unsaid, go ahead and say it. Just talk to them like they're beside you, and they will be. They can hear. They're not really gone. Yeah. Dragons. I know. I know. I love dragons too. Yes, you can definitely have. Yes, you can definitely have that. I am wondering about Bomber. I think Bombers might have. Auntie passed away yesterday. I heard that somebody had passed. Yes. You'll it'll get better. I don't think you ever entirely get over it, but it does get better with time. Yeah. I'm so sorry that happened. I hate to tell you this, guys, but what I see in for the rest of the year, it's going to be crazy. I'm going to tell you a little bit what I see. People ask me, "What do you see for the rest of the year?" Well, it's going to be knuck and futz, I think. A lot of things are going to happen. I'm not surprised that people are exiting now, that a lot of exit points are coming up. So, really, if you love somebody, let them know this could be the year that they decide to depart. And this was decided a long time ago. It's not, they aren't leaving because they don't love you. They're just leaving you because it's time. Just remember that. And it can be hard to fathom somehow. But I've seen the other side and it's great. And everybody that I contact over there from the other side, they tell me it's nice. Okay. They like it. It seems more real even than this place. So they're not the ones who are in any kind of pain or agony anymore. It's us. We're the ones left here that are the ones that are hurting. They're fine. They're always fine. Exactly, Bomber. It's what's here that hurts. What's left here, the part that's left behind. Yeah, dragons, you can certainly have unicorns, dragons, mythical animal, mermaids. Mermaids are really big. I'm not sure they're really a spirit animal. They're more like a cryptid, but there are people who seem to have a thing for mermaids, and I don't think it's any mistake. And unicorns. Unicorns probably did exist. I believe that all of these so-called mythical animals, everything from a chimera to just everything, just name them, probably they all existed at some point. Maybe not in this go round, or maybe not even on this planet or in this dimension, but they all existed. So basically, and some things, this is an interesting thing. I'm trying to read it, Bomber. Well, I can tell you this too. There are cosmic mass units on the other side, souls that arrive in various states of agony. Of course, they can't feel pain. They don't feel pain anymore when they're there, but sometimes their mental state or the state of their spirit isn't very good. And there are mass units. There are people who actually help them. So it's nice to know that there's still growth on the other side. There's still an ability to grow, but really they tell us all the time that Earth is the best place to come to grow and learn. This is the best place. So while you're alive, learn all you can, be all you can, use it to the best of your advantage. And remember, when you get to the other side, you're going to take those memories with you. So be kind, because there's such a thing called the review. And what the review is, for some, it'll be a little cringeworthy, probably for most of us. We'll see our whole lives. And you'll also be experiencing your life from the viewpoint of other people. So you'll find out why that happened, whatever it is that happened, and your impact. It's a learning thing. It's not a punishment. However, for some people, I think it's going to be a hell looking it over. So this is another reason to be kind, right? And not make hell for yourself later, because you're probably going to have enough fun during the review trying to get through that, right? That you don't need anything extra. But hey, just warning you, that's the way it's supposed to go. Okay. What do I think Bigfoot is? Okay. I am 100% certain that Bigfoot exists. I don't believe that everybody is crazy that has reported Bigfoot. I'm sorry, but I think it is so idiotic. People all around the world are seeing something, experiencing something, and you're going to tell them that they're all crazy. You're going to say, no, it doesn't exist. You're making it all up, blah, 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 blah. Total malarkey is that. It's like, I believe that they are probably hominid like us, probably related to us, because there are stories of them interbreeding with us. And Zana in Russia is one of those stories. And there are people who very proudly say that they are her descendants. It was a female Bigfoot that mated with a human male. And she had sons. And they ended up blending in with the populace, because if you're born of a Russian father, you're a Russian citizen. Therefore, they're mixed in with the populace. If that can happen, they are related to us much closer than anyone wants to admit. Okay? So they are a very close to human hominid. And that's what I think. Now, I'm also getting an impression that they're not always in a hairy Bigfoot suit. I'm almost getting the impression that there's more to their society than that. But it's kind of confusing, and I'll have to let you know as it goes along, because I have a feeling I'm going to learn a whole lot more about it, because they were mind speaking with me and getting in touch earlier before the party before the party crashers came. I'll tell you that story sometime. Some of you know it, but yeah, party got crashed. Do I believe in aliens? Yeah, definitely. Could cryptids be animal spirits? I don't see why not. I don't see why not. I think it's probably quite possible. Oh, that's so sweet, strange. A hybrid of a human and a relic hominid, says Chris Jarvis. Could be. Maybe not. Maybe yes, though. It could be 100% right. Who knows? We don't know yet, and we're not allowed to know. And the Smithsonian will sure never let us know. They're the cleaners, just like the mafia has cleaners. That's what I think of them like. That's what I think they are, really. Smithsonian's the cleaners. They clean it up so nobody can prove anything. They come in, they mop it all up. Nobody can prove nothing. Mm-hmm. Well, and the thing is that the good ones, most people call them ETs, and they make a difference between ETs and aliens in that way. Usually they consider ETs to be good to neutral. Aliens, on the other hand, are pains in the ass. Sometimes quite literally. Do I have to mention probes? But that was a bad joke, however, also true. DNA says female is human, male is unknown. Well, that could be, because I think, do you know, somebody told me this and it blew my mind. I cannot prove that it is the truth, but somebody told me, and it was a Native American, that said that at one time they even had rules about an Indian maiden could go, a Native American maiden could marry a Bigfoot if she chose. What does that tell you? There's been a lot of cross-species pollination, if you ask me. Maybe that's why some of them can talk, and some of them have different gifts. Yeah, I said probes. I'll say it again too, Ness. Probes. Okay. Yeah, honestly, yeah, they were Russian all nasty. Yeah, I really think that probably some of us probably have spirit animals that come from another plane of existence or another, or even another dimension. I often wonder about that, because I do find people with mythical animals, and sometimes, I'm sorry, I'm moving things around. I have back issues, and I have to move a little bit sometimes so they don't bother me as much. Yeah, have we made it with Neanderthals? Well, yeah, we might have. I don't know that we did, but somehow things changed and we became us and not them. However, I do not subscribe to the current bogus BS that they try to feed us about cavemen and our lineage, our human lineage. I think it's bullshit. I'll just say it right out. I think it's bullshit. And the reason I think it's bullshit is because the more they look into it, the more they try to look for the missing link, the more they can't find the damn missing link. Okay, I'm sorry, you will never find the missing link. There is no missing link. No link is missing. Really, what they're finding, I've looked into this, what they're finding is these species that just pop up out of nowhere. Cryptid species popping up out of nowhere, right? I'm sitting there going, we know there's cryptids. Or at least I know there's cryptids. I believe it. I've seen weird stuff. Other people have seen weird stuff. So there's cryptids. So where are they all coming from? You know? Melba Ketchum, not Melba Toast. I missed something weird. Did the Sasquatch Gnome Project. Oh, well, that's very interesting, strange. Melma Ketchum did a Sasquatch Gnome Project. Are ghosts, aliens, and Bigfoot all related? You know what? I think they are. I really think they are in some regards. I think definitely we see a lot of UFO activity when the Bigfoot show up. That leads me to think there's got to be some kind of a connection. But then again, there's also seemingly a connection between ETs and owls. Close encounters and owls. So many people, there's a guy who did a video about that too. So many people see owls, have an owl experience before they have a UFO or an ET experience. So I think there are quite a few related things that really we have not been privy to, that we need to find out about it. Some of it may be very important, some of this, because I mean, like these little, I'm going to mention them again because I had some experience with them. These little things that these nasty little brutes, I'm going to call them that so that people aren't afraid. The bullies, the trans-dimensional bullies that bothered Mark Barton, that almost killed him. And they were coming after me too. And I know at least 2 more cases where I'm pretty sure they're involved. And they're little jerks, and they're some kind of cryptid. And they come from another place. They have to come through the veil in order to get here. What are they exactly? They're kind of lizardy looking. And they smell awful. And it's interesting because one of the whistleblowers early on was really talking about how they would break into these underground bases of these creatures, and they would be real ugly and lizardy and smell bad, and they have an atmosphere that's hard radiation. If they pull you in with them, you're going to burn. Your body's going to burn. And I think that's where we get our ideas of hell. Because nowhere in the Bible does it say God ever made hell. So where do we get our ideas of hell? Because hell is actually a Norse goddess, and her realm was cold. And we still have the vestiges of that when we say cold as hell. So where does this idea of this burning hell come from? Well, Jesus mentioned Gehenna. Gehenna was a trash dump outside town that burned because trash will catch on fire. So if you ended up there, it just meant you were in an unmarked grave just thrown on the trash heap. So yeah, that would be a bad fate. It would. But as far as people's visions of demons in hell and what they look like, these things sure could match a lot of the accounts. They have very long clawed fingers. They have a sharp pointy nose. They have reptilian eyes shaped like ours, but reptile. And they are misshapen. And there's other weird things about them. They wear armor that's weird. I mean, it bends light so that they can vanish. It's not true invisibility. It's just camouflage. This has been checked out by 4 psychics independently. Remote viewers, some of them. So these creatures exist. There's some kind of cryptid. We don't know much about them. Somebody does, though. I know they do. They're not telling us. Maybe they're afraid that we would just go nuts if we found out that these things were visiting our realm. And that's quite possible. People might go nuts if they knew that, because nothing's supposed to be visiting. It's all nice. Nothing is going on. Just keep going, blah, blah, blah. Glares at the owl outside, wondering if it's a gray, says Chris Jarvis. And well, you might. And well, you might. Todd. Who's Todd? Who's Todd? Who's Todd? Who's Todd? Tell me. Oh, hi, Marie. How's you doing? Oh, it's good to see you in here, sister. Yeah. Marie Bon is in. NBPD is in. And once again, if anybody else wants to come in here with me in this madness, there you go. There's the link. And if you click that, you can come in to my studio and then I'll get you on. So does anybody want to talk about anything? There you go. It's the Tootsie Pop. It's the Tootsie Pop. Bomber saw now. Well, maybe they just haven't gotten around to you yet. Oh, Strange Land is Todd. Okay. Hey, Strange. I didn't know you were Todd. That's okay. Doggone it. No probing? I tell you. Well, it's called a screen memory, and anything that has huge eyes can end up being your screen memory of aliens. So if you have a memory and maybe you have some missing time associated with that, or maybe some other weird experience associated with big eye, deer can also be another thing. They got great big eyes. So if you remember a bunch of owls standing around your car looking at you, or a bunch of deer standing around your car looking at you, because they don't really do that normally, or any creature with big eyes, that could have really been Grace. How many looks does it take to get to the middle of a blow pop? Ah, Jarvis. Yep, that's great. I remember that too. Oh, good. You didn't miss your chance. They could still be coming for you. Yeah, Mary. Come on. Come on. Click the link. Click the link. Click the link. Click the link. Click the link, people. I'm nice. I won't bite much, hard. I'm not poisonous or anything. I may be a little talkative. I'm all hopped up on cordyceps coffee. I'm going to put a video out about my cordyceps coffee experience. It was wild. I met the spirit of the cordyceps. You can do that. Did you know you can also have a totem plant? Yeah, you can have a totem plant, and you can also have a spirit plant that guides your path, and it's the spirit of the plant. Yeah, come on in. Now every animal is suspect. Jarvis always makes me laugh. Well, let me see. So we know some people's names now. I'll try and remember, but I don't know if I'll remember. Yeah, Marilena, don't leave us in suspense. We want to hear about it. Oh, well, Les Hintz asks, no, that's not what I was trying to aim at. Okay, that's it. Okay. And he has questions. What does it mean when you get flashes of stuff in your mind, but then when you look, there's nothing there? Well, there's a reason that happens. And it has to do, well, in your mind. It depends. Are you seeing it with your eyes? Are you seeing it in your mind? Or are you seeing it with a little bit of both? Because if it's out of the corner of your eye, then it's because you're seeing it with your rods instead of your cones, because the rods and cones work differently, and then when one turns off, the other turns on. The rods, as I recall, are for black and white vision and mostly what you use at night. The cones are the ones that are more robust, and they're for color vision. They're more towards the middle of the eye. The rods are more situated towards the outside of the eye, which is why you will see things. If you want to see things, if you want to see between the worlds type stuff, you want to go out at a tween time when it's not really very light, not really very dark, somewhere in the middle, and not entirely dark yet. And then your rods and cones kind of trade off and can't decide who wants to take over, right? But that's usually when you'll see stuff, and you'll see it with the cones of your eye. And there's a reason for all that. And I'm not going to go into the whole thing, but that's basically why you have a tendency to see things out of the corner of your eye. And when you look directly at it, it's gone, because you're looking at something that you would normally be seeing with your black and white vision, your color vision, somehow in between. When it's in between like that, and your rods are taken over from your cones, you see things. That's when you see things. So There were doctors. Okay, come on, Mary. You can be vague. We don't care. We do vague. As long as you're not a vegan. Yeah, you must be pretty ancient. You must be pretty ancient, Jarvis. You know you got out of bed. Okay, I'm going to read it to y'all so that those of you who can't read can hear. Very vague, Marie. This is Marie's thing, her encounter. Very vague. I know I got out of bed. There were doctors. I did something, but I can't remember, but it is important. And go on, Mary. And then Les says, it's in my mind, but it's a flash of a certain area like a window with a shadowy gray figure. Okay, if it's in your mind, that sounds like some kind of message is trying to come through. And have you tried meditating on it to see if it expands? And, you know, putting yourself in a receptive state so that you can see if you can expand that. Because you can do that sometimes. It could be that some kind of a memory is trying to come to you too, something you've totally forgotten that needs to come up to you now. Yeah, come on my show, Mary. You did vague, PvP. You know, it's interesting. People often remember them as being doctors. As a matter of fact, the women who have had their children taken, they remember, I mean, as they're giving birth, or before, not as they're giving birth, but before they are full term, and they supposedly they just have these missing pregnancies. Some of them remember these little doctors. It's really weird. I looked into this. There was a guy called Whitley Strieber who wrote extensively about all this back in the day. And I read all his stuff just to see what I could find because I knew something was going on with me. Oh, you haven't because you got a feeling it doesn't like you, whatever it is. Well, I would say you need, you know, I'm not trying to drum up business here. It kind of sounds like you need a reading too. Because if you're having that, it kind of sounds like you need a reading. You may have something on your tail. I don't know. You may have an attachment. It could be. That kind of sounds like it. And if you do, you need to get rid of that. Yeah, just click on the link. It's really easy. There's the link. I know. I have memories too I can't quite dig out, but here's something to know. If you have buried memories, they start to come back out after a certain amount of time. I think it's like between 7 and 13 years. They start to resurface. So you do eventually remember them, but not right away. It just sort of postpones it, kind of puts it on hold. It's like it compartmentalizes it. That's right, Mary. You are in charge. And I will tell you, I am working on something that should help because this has been tested by people, oddly enough. I'm going to put out some objects that have the Great Seal of Egypt on them. For some reason, Greys seem to have to respect the Great Seal of Egypt. People have found that if you put it over your door, they can't come in. They'll stay away from the Great Seal of Egypt. Now, I don't know what that means. I think it's the meaning behind the Great Seal of Egypt that is doing it, of course. But if, as some believe, Egypt was a colony of the survivors of Atlantis, it could go that far back. There could be some kind of an agreement or something that causes that. So we don't know. I'd have to look into that more, and I might see if I can remote view it. Yes, Jarvis, maybe it's something to do with the Egyptian pantheon, he asks. I wonder about that, yeah. That there is, well, they had these things that were not good. I think they were called Typhon. And so they had something that they were fighting too. So it may be related. Welcome to an abduction, I think, and I hope I remember it. Screw it, go big or go home. I wouldn't put it that way, but I would say if you're going to do it that way, please say I'm open for a kind abduction, because some of these are not so nice, you know. I wouldn't give anything permission to do just any old thing, because that's how you really get your butt in trouble. No wonder you get your butt in trouble, Bommy, and give them open invitations like that. Oh, Todd sings. I do too. I love music. I want to hear it. I want to hear all about it. Go big or go home. Yeah, you got to have a story to tell all of us, right, Bommy? Phrasing. Yes. Yeah. Actually, it seems like these things go through families. If you have been abducted, other members of your family have been abducted, and it goes back a ways. That's the way it always works. And your children will also be getting abducted. That's the way that goes. That's what all the research indicates. Goes through family lines. And that's why I wonder about it. It's like they want to know, they want to keep track of family lines. Are they experimenting? And why? Why family lines? Is it that some people are more susceptible? There's been that theory that a certain family lines are more susceptible to the influence. It could be that some are more compatible. We're not sure yet. Looks at the family sideways. Thank you. Yeah, watch it, Bummer. You don't have to be that macho. Don't have to be macho at all. You're a woman, thank God. No need to be macho about it. I mean, it could be a nice abduction and, you know, meet the guys kind of abduction instead of something crappy, you know, or proby. I don't know. Don't forget the KY, though, if you do go. And keep KY in your pocket at all times, just in case. An attachment would make sense. Was sitting in the shop last night. And let me read this from Les Hints. An attachment would make sense. Was sitting in the shop last night and the door slammed open like it was kicked in and the cat went nuts and ran off. Oh, yeah. You got a spirit. Yep, you do. Oh, yeah, you do. Cats are sensitive animals, and they're going to let you know. Okay. Nessie Monster, no, if my miscarriages or actual miscarriages, where are they taken from me? Have you had any abduction-like experiences, or has anybody in your family had any? Nessie, that would be my first question to you. And if so, then it could be, yeah. And the first time I heard about this, I thought it was crazy. I thought it was absolutely nuts. How could that be? I was prepared to not believe this. Aliens have shown up in your dreams. Guess what, Bomber? That's usually the way they show up before. And actually, those might not have been dreams. Those might not have really been dreams, Bomber. They might just be presenting themselves as dreams so you can handle it better. That's also very common. Yes. Mm-hmm. Oh, that's another thing. Spirits will follow a family line too. Yes. So Bomber's been abducted. She just didn't know it. If they're coming in your dreams, they're just trying to be nice about it. So they are trying to be nice about it. Not come right up to you, and they're trying to be at least a little bit more gentle than sometimes they are, or hide it a little more. Nessie does get abducted. Guess what? Yeah, you are probably a mother of some little hybrids somewhere, or at least that's what the research seems to indicate. You probably had babies, happy tea babies. I do too. I asked about that. I've got some too. They took mine too. So, so, and they do that. And I don't remember saying, hey boy, let's get together and make a baby. I don't remember saying that ever. But supposedly you agree to this before you're born or something. Oh, you had other stuff. Oh, typical. Yeah. Well, it is not one of those things that you want to just blather about everywhere, do you? Oh, and by the way, I'm getting abducted. No, that's usually not the way that it goes. People do not do that. Okay, so Bomber is an alien. Well, probably part of us. Well, a lot of us. We're all mixed up. According to some sources, we're all a mixture of species. Human beings are a mixture of species, which is why we have all these differences, and yet we all have a common root, so to speak. So are close enough that we can interbreed. That's kind of interesting, and that might also explain some of the cryptids that we see. That might be what happens when interbreeding occurs and maybe does not go entirely favorably. Or sometimes it goes very favorably, who knows? I think you are. I think, yeah, your DNA has been messed with. I think Jarvis's DNA, I have. I have said that to him. I think it's been messed with, and not very far back. So, yeah. And there's other reasons I think that too, and I'm not prepared to go into that whole long thing right now. We have about 15 minutes left, people, and then I have to tie it up for the night, and then I'll be on again tomorrow night. And I will love to see you again tomorrow night. And then I am going to try and find some way to get unlimited hours so that I can do this more than 2 nights a week. I'm going to try and stream a third night. Give me some ideas if you know when a good time would be for you to come on, or yay, alien DNA, I can be a Sith now, says Chris. Jarvis? Yeah, there's no long distance charges, Mary. You don't have to call on a phone at all. Just have to click the link and it'll send you right over here. Aliens. There she is. There you go. And Mary, you're on. Say hi. Let me see if we can hear you.
Yes.
She's on. It's working. There you go. Well, that was
Can
easy.
you see me?
Yes, we can see you. I can. Everybody else? Everybody see her?
Cool.
Yeah.
I've just woken up about half an hour ago. so my throat is a bit scratchy.
That's okay. Just talk, girl. We're here for you.
You're not picking up on. Oh, I'm not picking up on the signal. Hold on a second. Wait. Let me just
We can
move.
see you and we can
Get
hear you.
signal
We can
because when I have to go live, the signal is very low. Can you? Are you picking me up now?
Yes. No, we've been picking you up just fine. We can hear you and see you just fine.
Oh, cool, perfect.
Okay. And have since the beginning.
Okay,
Yeah.
perfect.
So you're cute. You're good looking. What you been afraid to be on camera for? Get on more often, girlfriend. So tell us about your stories. Come on, spit them out. We're your family. We love you. Ain't gonna hurt you.
Okay. The one loss. The grey abductions has been happening most of my life, most of my family's life. I know that it goes way back in the family. My dad's is always told me, yes, he knows about it, but he's never really spoken about it, but he just confirms it for me. And like if I say, oh, this happened to me last night, you'll say, yes, it also happened to him. So basically, they take us all at the same time.
Yeah.
I thought that maybe it would be more individual person at different times. But when my sister comes to me and says to me, this is what happened last night, straight away I remember, oh, it happened to me as well. I remember the actual action of what we did. And then what happens eventually is like I have a mental block or the memory gets wiped. I don't remember nothing, but I remember a feeling. It's sort of like I have this feeling that something did happen, but what? It's almost like deja vu, but it's not deja vu.
That is fairly common. And me too. Until somebody says something, I forget that it happened. And then I'm like, oh, yeah, I did have something happen. I'd totally forgotten. You forget it. It's like a dream, kind of. Kind of like you half remember dreams, but it doesn't seem real. That happens to a lot of people. It seems like a dream. It doesn't seem real. That's very, very common, almost standard, in fact. So,
sorry, Diane, the signal is so bad that I didn't hear a word that you said. I'm sorry. The signal, even though I'm standing right here by the router,
you have a great accent. Everybody loves your accent.
Thank you.
What accent is it? Everybody wants to know. What kind of accent is it?
Pardon?
What kind of accent do you have? What is your
it's South African. South African. We speak proper English, but we have Dutch, German, and of course I'm Italian, so of course my accent is a mixture of South African, of the English being taught here, and my Italian accent, so it creates my accent, which is slightly different to the South Africans born over here.
You have a unique accent, yes, and you know what the funny thing is?
Everybody likes it.
You sound.
Everybody likes my accent.
when I would hear you in my head, you sounded like that. This is kind of cool. Because, yeah, you sound like you did in my head. So I don't know if you can hear me. You sound, your accent,
I do.
like when I would hear you in my head.
You
You would
come
talk.
up staggered.
We can see you and hear you, though. So you keep talking. Keep talking. Keep talking. Tell us stuff.
Oh, sorry. Okay. What happened last night is that I was meditating first. At about midnight, I was meditating. I just felt like meditating because I do that practice every day. And then during the night, I saw myself. I remember getting out of bed. There were doctors. It's not doctors. It's like scientists. They put me on missions. I remember a few missions because I've written it down as they happen because I forget. So I write them down and they come out a bit weird the way I write it because I write it as I remember it. And I remember I had to do something and they were very happy with the mission. It was a success. They send me in war areas. I've been sent where there's war. I have to retrieve information, packages, and stuff like that. And then I have to return. Most of the time, it doesn't work. I have to run away. But last night, it worked. But the thing is, I don't remember where I went. It's like it was too fast. This one, whatever I had to do, it happened so quickly that it was a success and they put me back. And they were like high-fiving each other. And that's all I remember.
So,
Usually when it doesn't work, I remember all of it. It's like, they want me to remember so that next time it works.
interesting.
Do
I
you
would
see?
That's a pretty cool story. To think that you almost didn't come on. You need to come on more often. Keep us updated on what they have you doing. Any more you would like to tell us?
Thanks. Yes, I will, Dan. I will, Dan. The thing is, sometimes it's like almost like as if I've been dropped on the bed. I wake up and I have a huge headache. And I know that they've taken me, but there's no memory. I'm a complete blank, but I know that they took me because my body hurts, something hurts, or I have like a prick needle type of sore on my body somewhere. In the past, it used to be on my scalp over here. I used to get sores over here.
Yes. This is, I've heard of this too, and I've had it. And another place is right behind the ear, is another place. Why? You can't see it. You can't see the scar. It's hidden. So that's why they do it that way a lot of times.
Yeah. And I've met the good ones, the ones that are teaching me the spiritual path, and the ones that are guiding me. Those are the light beings. They are very beautiful and they come from God. You know the difference. They don't interfere. They only come to you when there's an important message and they want you to know something. then they'll come to you. But they don't come often. They might just come once in your lifetime or twice in your lifetime to send you a message and to put you on the path so that you know where you must go, in which direction they guide you. The Greys are land-based. The Greys are more with the military. It's got to do with experimental stuff. It's got to do with physical things. Whether they use you in as remote viewing, they use you for missions, they use your body for scientific stuff.
Yes, that is
That's what the
another
Greys
thing I
use you
hear.
for.
I hear that too. I have heard that before too.
The reptilians, those ones are scary. I don't remember nothing about the reptilians, but I have been warned. I've been warned on a number of occasions, and they have rocked up. They look at me, but they say nothing. So I don't know nothing about those ones. I just know what they look like, and they are frightening. They're huge, they're big, and they are scary. They're like a gray, greenish color, like a real reptilian. That's what they look like. They look like a crocodile, but they don't have a crocodile face. They've got a normal face, exactly like the people describe, but they look human, but they've got like that scaly skin, the eyes and whatever. Now, my friends and I, because my friends and I, we are part of a group, and we all have learned that we all been kidnapped at the same time. We are somehow we're all interlinked, and we were warned all at the same period about the reptilians. We have to be very careful about them. I don't know why, but I know that they're dangerous to us. And that's it. Basically, that's all the info I have so far.
That's a lot. That's a lot. A lot. So, and this is consistent with many things that I have heard before. My research indicates that this kind of thing is going on to many, many people. This is not just you and your group. This
Yes.
is going on all over the world.
No.
Yes.
Yes. So, of course, now, yes. But like my father says, do not show fear. My father has always told me, do not show fear, do not feel fear. He says, when you don't show fear, you're in control. They can't hurt you. So I've been practicing that in not showing fear, because I wasn't afraid for myself. I was afraid for my niece, because she's a child, she doesn't understand. She sleeps in my room with me because she's frightened. So of course now I'm trying to teach her not to have fear like myself. I'm trying to give her the tools to handle all of it, so that way she's able to go through life much easier and just be happy like I am.
Yes. And
because if you're happy and you have positive thoughts, it works.
Well, bless you. Bless you. That's what I'm trying to do too.
Positive thoughts work.
I'm trying to help people get through this. I'm trying to help people live through all of this better, figure it out better, have a better life, get themselves out of people can fall into a depression over this. So I'm trying to help people know what to do when they.
Yes, depends on the person themselves. You see, it's also your thought patterns. You've got to change your thought patterns. It takes practice, and it's difficult because we have a natural tendency to go towards the negative. The negative and the bad always comes easy. The good, the positive, you have to do it constantly. It's almost like a mantra. You have to say to yourself, I am good. I am good. And you have to repeat it often and do it every day until it comes naturally that you don't even think about it. And always insert happy, positive thoughts. Anything that's happy, you just put it there in your mind and you think about it and you laugh. You start out laughing just a little bit, or you pretend to be happy, but eventually it comes naturally and you laugh about things which you're supposed to laugh about, happy things, and it comes easy.
Actually,
And I always look angry when I'm serious.
I do too.
I look angry when I'm serious,
And
but I'm not angry.
when I do what I do,
People think I'm angry.
yep, I come off as being
Yes.
angry. Yeah. No, I'm being serious. I'm being authoritative. Authoritative. And
Yeah.
that's the way I deal with all
Yes.
these things. It's like they try to scare me, and I stand there and I look them right at them and say, "Hey, I'm in charge here. This is what I'm telling you to do. You don't, if you don't belong here, you don't belong here. We got more say."
I do exactly the same.
Yes.
That's what I did last week, because last week I had a couple of black sangomas coming into the house. They wanted to attach themselves to us or curse us. So I looked at one, he was by my window, and my family was with me in a spiritual sense. We were all together. So I looked at him and I said to him, how dare you try and come into my house? I said to him, I didn't welcome you here. I didn't give you permission to be here. You leave now, because you don't know what I'm going to be doing to you if you try and come in.
Yeah.
And I started with my prayer. I have a very strong, powerful prayer that I use. And then I said, Jesus Christ, or God. And you should have seen his face. He was so shocked, this spirit, that he left. Then the second time, 2 days later, in my sleep, because I astral project, and I saw one in the lounge from my room. I was sleeping and I picked up on the energy, and I saw one in the lounge, and it was trying to find something, an object, to attach to itself in the house. So I called on God, on Jesus and Master, to help me to get rid of it. I did that and I got rid of it. So I know that I am strong enough spiritually to protect all of us at home.
Yes. And so you are basically doing the shamanic work in your house. In your home, you're the shaman, because the
Yes.
shaman is the person who connects with the other realms and walks between the worlds to mediate for the people. Otherwise, you're known as your family or your
Yes.
tribe. So you are also doing shamanic
Yes.
work. Yep. And thank you for explaining that so well. I would agree very much with all of that. That is the way to go. That is the way we do it. This is how we do it, baby. Yep. You show no fear. You let them know who the boss is, because you are the ultimate boss. You are divine. You have divine within you. You have God. You're a human. Human have divine in them. That is why we got that name, human. Okay? So you have God in you, therefore you are the one in charge, not them. And you have to maybe enforce it. Now, some things can generate a very strong fear vibration and drive people to commit suicide and all kinds of crazy things. If you let them in your
I
mind.
can't pick up on anything that you're saying.
I'm sorry. I wish you could hear. But you came in very loud and clear. You came in very clear.
Thank you.
Do you have
Thank
anything
you.
more you would like to tell us?
No, just that use positive thinking. It helps because when it comes to the abductions, we don't have any control. That goes, I'm not sure the group over here that's in the chat at the moment. I am RH negative bloodline from my mom's side. We are RH negative. From my father is a positive. I'm lucky to be born. And so, of course, because my mom was RH negative as well. So I don't know what the difference is because they take from both sides anyway. So I don't know what the difference is. So maybe there's no difference. I know that I'm an ancient person. My father told me that I come from past the Atlantic age. I don't know which group I am from. I don't know. I don't know if I'm Atlantean or not. My father says that I am, but I don't know. Yeah, but that's it.
Wow, that was quite a story. We are now over 2 hours, and you guys are awesome, and I don't want to go. But, and I think I might stay on a few extra minutes. I'm going to have to come up with some way to afford this streaming. I'm going to have to come up with some way to, because like I said, once again, I don't charge a lot of times for my shamanic work because people who need it usually are poor. A lot of us don't. That's just how we roll. Well, here you go, Marie. If there's anything you'd like to say, if not, there is a button down there that will let you out of the studio that says exit studio if you want to. If you want to hang around.
Okay.
If you want to leave now.
Yes, I'll hang around. I'll exit now.
Okay.
Yes, I'm done. I've done speaking for now. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Wow, that was great. That was excellent. That was right on. Spot on. See, that's the thing. You guys are part of the show. I know you got it in you to be stars here because all of you got some experience the rest of us can use. Yeah, that was a great interview. Goodness gracious. Great stories, Marie. Hi, Richard. How you doing? I'm glad. You think so. Thank you, Jenny. The Ohio Woo Crew on MeWe. Yeah, if you can't get through to my email because it might be clogged now. Like I said, every time I let my email be known, I seem to get I think it's spam bots. I think somebody's spamming me or something. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why. But yeah, get a hold of me on MeWe Woo Crew. And we can even private message on MeWe. So we don't have to, even have phone expense or anything. This is actually the cheapest way to go to talk to people. And then if you also have Hangouts, that's great. If you can install Hangouts, you can get in touch with people and have FaceTime, like the FaceTime, it's like that, and talk to people face to face for free. So look into these things and connect with people. We need to connect. We need to have these real stories. I love a real life story. There is nothing like real life experiences. Is anybody else want to say anything? We're coming up on past 2 hours. I'm going to have to find some way to afford more hours, and I will. I am, by the way, I want to have a brief commercial here. I am going to be putting my art up. I'm going to start, I think I'm going to open a t-shirt shop and have mugs and hats and t-shirts and stuff. And other art. I am an artist, and I'm a singer and musician, so I'm going to try and find some ways to get this stuff online. And one of my projects, I'm trying to figure out exactly what to call it, but I am thinking of calling it the Conspiracy Coloring Book for Adults. Something on that, or the Cryptid Coloring Book, or I was going to call it the Scary Modern Coloring Book, but I don't know that that would be the perfect title. I was going to call it the Paranormal Coloring Book. If you guys have any ideas, but basically it has a lot of, it's kind of scary themed. Okay, it's not all pretty stuff. It's spirits and spooky stuff and scarecrows, scary looking scarecrows, and actually scarecrows that look like crackheads, basically. It's a, to me, it's kind of political. It is kind of political. If you look at it, you'll kind of see some stuff in there. There's the GMO farmer. There's the GMO vet, animal researcher. That it's just, there's some stuff like that in there, but there's also going to be Bigfoot. There's also going to be some of the other cryptids, and I plan on expanding it. I may even have a coloring club. So I'm thinking of having a paranormal coloring club. That'd be fun. We have a little group on MeWe where we take one of my drawings and we all color it in and see what we do and put our own little stuff in there and see how it came out. I think that would be fun. Yeah. Strangeness through the glass. Oh, yeah. Well, I'll tell you right now, on YouTube and NewTube and the NewTube, there are two places that are trying to replace YouTube. So on those two, I am calling it Ocean's Weird World with 2 Y's. Why? Because why? Why use Y in weird instead? Because that was the original spelling, was with a Y. Weird times. That's it. Ocean's Weird Times with 2 Y's. There you go. And times has a Y in it too. That's how it goes. I almost called it world, but then I thought, no, times give us another Y. Why? Oh, why? Anyway. Yeah, your lions were photobombing you. Your babies, your fur babies, lovely fur babies. Marie's fur babies were photobombing her in the background. They made their star appearance. Ah, Dogman Researcher. Okay, Chris, we're going to put that up for a minute so people can see it. Well, Drake, thank you for showing up. And thank you, Marie, for telling us your story. That was very brave. And it was a perfect story. I loved it. It was great. Man, you guys are really rolling. I'm about to close it down, I think, within a few minutes so that I can have a little time left over for other streams. But I have really thoroughly enjoyed this. If you want to come to MeWe, there's the Ohio Woo Crew. That's my group at MeWe. And then there's also Beardos Weirdos. That's Nessie's group. And then there's also us there. And you can come and visit us all there. A lot of us are in MeWe now. So, and a lot of us are getting on Hangouts, because Hangouts is another good one. Because once again, you can, just like here, you can talk to each other face to face if you want to. And it's another one of those things where you can stream too, kind of. I think you can stream. I think you can still stream with that. I'm not sure, or record. I got to look into that. Maybe that's how I would get some more time. I have to kind of look into it. So, oh, Bombers Group. Oh, really? That's Bombers Group? Okay. Well, it's Bombers Group then. I thought it was Ness's. Okay. Yeah, me too. It's 1:25 here. That is late enough for me. Sleep well, Todd, Bomber, Marie, and Quantum Vortex Energy, were you lurking? Death is a human construct. It does not exist. Well, I agree. It doesn't really. It really doesn't. People on the other side agree. Afterlife is life. Infinite numbers of universes, each with different physical properties. I can agree with that too. And I've seen some of them. So, time is also a construct, you will find. And maybe I will talk about the Matrix sometime. Well, so we can blow everybody's mind and say, I am, you are, he is, she is. I think the Beatles came up with it, said that. But yeah, you're really everybody. So at some point, but that's another discussion and a much deeper one. Okay, good night and sleep well, says Marie Bon, our star, and our star interview for the evening. And of course, we had another wonderful interview before that. And thank you so much for coming on my show. I appreciate it. Please consider, if you have a story, consider letting me know. And come on, and I'll keep putting the link out, and y'all keep coming in, and we'll share our knowledge. Thank y'all for coming. I'm about to click it off now. Truth in Me is here. Hi, I didn't see you. Mirror effect of, boy, I'm going to have to read all this. Experiencing the mirror effect of karma. Watch the thoughts. Yep. Man. Oh, you guys are great. I love you. Yes, we are one. We are. I'm one. Are you one? Okay, good. I left something up that I shouldn't have left up. There. Now it's gone. Okay, love you guys. I'm clicking off. And a 1 and a 2 and I love you, baby. I'm gonna make a song for the show, I think. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, click like, please. Click like and share, subscribe, ring the bell, please. Okay, love you. Bye-bye. I love you. Bye-bye. Make waves.